Hello there and welcome. It's time for another game report commentary. And today we've got Gord versus Daniel. So Gord is using his other list as predicted, which includes Asajj, Lord Maul, and the Mandalorians. So all the Mandalorians together, Clan Kree's under Asajj, and Maul has his normal squad. And then Daniel is using his Vader Inquisitors list. So we've got Darth Vader with Rex and 501st, and then Grand Inquisitor with um, with Third Sister and Fifth Brother. Now, it seems they may have set up a little out of order here. It looks like they're deploying, but they already have their struggle card picked and laid out, so that definitely affects their deployment because you should be deploying before revealing the struggle card, and therefore you'd be wanting to set up in order to cover all three of your back points. They already know which one's active, so it looks like Gord is still spreading his out on the two sides, but Daniel's putting the one with the Inquisitor a little closer to the middle. So as I mentioned in the other game, Asajj is a bit more force hungry. Maul helps with that, but I find even the version with Ahsoka instead of Asajj uh, needs that force economy help because the Mandalorians I find are quite force hungry as well. Uh, they all have jetpacks, and then as soon as they get wounded, then all you know their thing is the force economy. They're a little more mobile, but then everything starts costing force or more force when things are wounded. So um, that's also an issue with Asajj, who it looks like, yeah, he's reserved Maul and then pulled Asajj. So that's not a great order for him. For Gort, who's going first, but looks like we're gonna have Asajj go to that bottom middle point. Um, but Asajj has a jump, which she can do twice, costs a force, and then the force push, which costs two. So as soon as she gets wounded, then that's two and three. Um, so yeah, he's going to use a force jump right now. And so even without being wounded, you could potentially be using four force, and then that just turns into the whole force budget uh, if if she's wounded. Um, Now I'm doing a take cover action to get a hunker. Now, uh, Maul helps with that. Together they bring six force points, but then Maul, of course, can suffer damage instead of using force points. So Gord has 2 points under control. Daniel has the one back one. It's drawn fifth brother. Now, this will be an interesting game to me because I have trouble getting um, getting the full value I feel out of these Mandalorians because I said they're very force hungry, and I feel like they drop off quite quickly, and maybe they need a more aggressive play style where you're sealing the game much more quickly to avoid spending so much time in that force hungry state, but um, I just can't get them working for me. Uh, I've also tried out the Inquisitors, which is Daniel's list. Um, Now, I tried it without Vader, but Vader is also an Inquisitorius. So, Fifth Brother will be using his move and then also Force Jump. And he's got a Force Repulse, which is also 2 Force. Um, and we'll see if he uses it to get that point from Asajj. He's going to do an attack first, so or start with an attack. They do have a shove on 1, although I'm not sure that'll give him a range. Probably searching for those 3 successes to get 2 pushes. Alright, hopefully that recorded okay. Asajj does have riposte, so to give 2 damage back to Fifth Brother there. Nope, I've got just both the same form here. Alright, so not sure which side Asajj is in, which stance. It looks like he's going the route of giving an expose. And the damage, I'm not sure if he got the strain through on there as well. But he will just be getting 1 point, or no, he actually should be flipping that because Fifth Brother breaks ties. So yeah, he should be flipping that point at the end of this turn. Hopefully they get that. So as I was saying, his team is a full Inquisitor squad with a third sister and fifth brother. And then Darth Vader is bringing Rex and the 501st. Now, I assume he doesn't have the Mace Windu box because I think a lot of people would swap those out for ARF troopers. But that might be the 3-cost Republic support group that is available to him. It looks like we're moving on to Gord's turn. He should be getting Daniel should be getting 2 points there, but might have only counted it as 1. Maybe they catch it later. Gord, considering having Maul go, I would probably save him because he doesn't have any targets yet. Or he may have. Yeah, I think he's pulled his Mandalorian super commandos, who, as I said, also have a jump. So technically, you're only supposed to use 1 of each type of tool at a time. But he was looking at whether or not his advance with a jump can get him to that center point. It looks like they're going to stay together so that they get the focus action from Mandalorians are stronger together. And maybe once they jump up onto the middle point, they'll try to take a shot at Fifth Brother, although they have a shorter range. They're range 4. Gar Saxon is the only range 5 out of all the Mandalorians. So we'll see if they can reach him there. Probably the 1. The 1 didn't quite make it onto the gantry, but I'll sit below. So yeah, the one's in range, the other is not, so we'll see if he still does his attack action or not on that.
He's gonna make an attack on that guy there.
Yeah, he's gonna have the one shoot fifth brother there. So they have impact, not sharpshooter. So they would get an extra die on top of their focus in melee. But Clan Kreese will be the ones that gets an extra die on ranged attacks. The crit and some expertise going on there. A lot of fails on Daniel's side. Nope, must have had an expertise for a block there.
For the 3 expertise, I get one hit.
3 expertise. That's kind of sucks, turning into just a hit there. So just the crit probably getting through for the 2 damage. Unless maybe there's a second crit hiding there to decide between strain and disarm.
3 damage and a strain.
Yeah, so he's going with the 3 damage and a strain. Probably a good plan there because you don't know when Fifth Brother is going to go next for that disarm to happen, but it'll limit Third Sister's options if she comes up and tries to get him to do a jump, because then that'll set the strain off and do 3 damage to him. Now he does have protection, I believe, so I should be getting, yeah, protection and steadfast with resolve being on an active objective, so I should be just suffering 2 damage. And Daniel is up the 501st now. Oh, so yeah, it looks like we're forgetting about Imperial Mandate or Inquisitorial Mandate. So they only counted that as 1. I'll make this a small X maybe. So then Gord got 3 back. No, that should have been just 2. Yeah, it's gonna be too complicated to keep track of, so we'll stay consistent with what they've got here. So Daniel's team has 7 force points to work with Vader bringing 4 and the Inquisitor bringing 3. And we used 1 for the jump on Fifth Brother, and I think we've used 1 now for defensive maneuver. So that'll get them a hunker with the dash. And they're going to go for that 3 point up at the top middle. So yeah, because the terrain that's in the way is at the same level or lower than the one Mandalorian that's beside the middle point, he can actually have line of sight there because you ignore the terrain for line of sight that is at or below. She would get cover, although I don't think she has a hunker token. It looks like they're going to shoot at the one that's on the ground, though. Couple crits, that's nice. going. Just all hits. Wow, that's a rare roll for the 501st. Gord's only blocking 2, so Daniel got a full 3 with the 501st. I don't even know what that looks like. So yeah, we'll see if he goes pin shove. The recover would be kind of unused, but or if he'll go the strain route, he could get a reposition, but maybe he'll use it to get to an ingress point or something, so that he could move to the middle more easily.
Now the other guy will do the same. He'll fire his 7th blaster shot.
See if he can catch lightning in a bottle twice. He got a crit. The expertise will become a hit. Oh, 2 crits.
So 3 blocks this time.
3 blocks this time, so 3 down. Now the pin will be becoming a damage. So he would have done 5 damage last shot. He'll be doing 3 or 4. So I believe that would be enough to wound them. Yeah, because they've got 8 health. So the 3 damage will get them wounded. So that will get him momentum. And 2 points with. Oops. And then they'll both get a momentum for that. Landing on 0. Gord must have revealed the Clan Kreese. So he's looking at yeah. He's looking at shooting range for 5th brother. You're going to perform a normal move to get their Mandalorians are stronger together focus action, and these ones do have sharpshooter, so you wanting to get that ranged attack so that he's got 2 extra dice instead of just the 1. So he'll be rolling 8 dice against Daniel's 5 dice. Ooh. Expertise for Daniel there. I think that turns into 1 block. Yep. And
How many blocks? You got 3 blocks?
I've got 2. Gord had 2 crits there. We'll see. This expertise also turning into a hit. So it'll just be the crits getting through. Either 1 or 2 there. But they've got a nice combination of either 2 shoves or pin shove in the first 2 steps, which is really strong.
I think this one is a... Pin. Do a pin on it. Okay. Now the other guy. So the second guy...
So it might have just been the 1 success getting the pin and 1 damage through. Dice tray moving further off camera. But I see a crit there again.
3 blocks? Okay, 2 again.
Okay, he's saying 2 again, so must have gotten the 3. Well, I guess it'd be 2 damage because of protection. The shove gets blocked by steadfast. So he probably wants to go the 2 shove route, so that 1 shove gets through, getting off that point. would have gotten... maybe he did the pin, which became a damage for 3. It looks like he got a wound there. And is continuing to keep those 3 points.
Choose an allied Inquisitorius as a secondary character. Allied Inquisitorius supporting character.
So just straight for the wound instead of having to push him off. Now it looks like the third sister has been pulled for Daniel. Start by moving forward. And we'll see if he... I'm sure he'll use a jump to get into range of something here. Not sure he's gonna get quite close enough to be getting an objective. She only has melee as an option, so I don't think she'll be getting close enough to actually attack anything either. Oh, unless that was actually the Grand Inquisitor. Yes. Alright, so the Grand Inquisitor... Let's see. Yeah, because third sister can only use her active ability, Call the Hunt, on a supporting Inquisitorius unit. So it must have been Grand Inquisitor giving her a dash with You Know Who We Are. Now it looks like he's using that 2 force for Secrets Uncovered to remove the control token from that middle objective, because the Mandalorians are wounded. So that means that Gord will have to do something to get control of that middle point again. Grand Inquisitor does have a throw, lightsaber throw, but may not be in range to do that. So it looks like he's just gonna stay back at the points there. So Daniel will be getting 2 points. And a momentum for not bringing it back over 0. We're considering Maul now with potentially 2 advances. One of them being from Force Speed, which costs him either a Force or a damage himself. But his chances of wounding the 501st, especially if he uses that expose on them, not that you're taking away much defense, but that pretty good odds to get the wound on them and flip that point. Not sure if they quite... If he did pull Gar or Bow, he would be able to give another Mandalorian a jump. I'm not sure if the Clan Kree's Mandalorian could jump close enough to get be in range of that center objective. Probably be a little outside, but that would be more helpful to potentially get 2 more points controlled for him. If he pulls Gar anyway. Looks like we're gonna go with Lord Maul. And yeah, like I said, I'm not sure that jump would be quite enough to get them in range anyway. So might as well go for the flip on that top center point and make it so that Daniel has to do something to flip that point instead of just moving people up to reinforce it.
Force speed.
Nope, he's using the force token for the force speed on this one. I guess he has Gar and O left. They'll each want a force for their jumps. Um, and then use the Shatterpoint on Maul. Then he could think about doing it, using the damage instead at that point.
Inquisitors roll.
Force speed.
No, it's just one force you may advance.
He's actually okay. He's gonna use
He has
it.
a sustained by rage when you're not wounded. You can spend a force to suffer.
Alright.
Oh yeah, so I could
Choose another ally battle right
suffer a damage instead of spending a force for that. So I think I'll actually do that. I forgot about that.
Okay, yeah, he's swapping to taking the damage instead of using the force point, which is a good plan there. Maul is there to help his force economy, so might as well use it. If he does, there's no place to run, also taking the damage, then that'll also give him an extra die on the melee attack that he is about to do.
I'll do there's no place to run. Okay. So that costs 2 force, so I'll take 2 damage.
and then scuttle. So I'm gonna technically do.
And I can pull an enemy character within 3. Pull the character 2 towards the chosen allied character.
Okay, and
So
it's gonna be one of those guys.
yeah.
Exactly what I did. So then I just push
Going towards
So not likely able to pull the 501st past or out of range of contesting the point, given that he's positioned kind of across from the objective from them.
exposed.
But it may be helping him get into melee range, and it'll also be getting him that exposed token.
And then I will attack him.
I only have 2 blocks?
Yeah,
So basically I just put my
Looks like he's in Dark Rage, so that'll be a base 7 plus 1, so 8 dice attack.
7 damage?
And that will be against Daniel's 4 dice on defense. Oh, she's got 2 blocks.
Okay. Yes, 2 expertise.
The expertise will help with damage as well. Get a crit and a damage on that.
I will block 2 hits.
Okay. So that's 2, so that's 4 successes.
Is this one?
So how much?
So he's getting 4 successes through. So with 4 successes, he's getting 7 damage no matter which way he goes. He can either get a couple shoves or throw strain on them and get a jump. So yeah, the expose is already gone. He could throw strain on there, though that, if they're only left with that one condition, then when they get flipped from wounded to injured, that's gonna go away anyway. So with the 2 shoves, you could maybe throw one of them out of position at least. Just pushing him away towards the edge of the board. I don't see much of a reason for him to use the jump, unless he wants to be getting, being across the point in order to oh, did he pull? He must have pulled the 501st behind him and been able to push him backwards. I guess I had them mixed up there. But he definitely got the wound on that and flipped that point. So he's now sitting at three objectives, which will get him to 4. And the momentum, so we're getting very close to closing out this struggle. So Daniel will have to answer back, flipping at least 1 point to try and swing this back his way. Third sister has been pulled, and so she is going to advance to that bottom objective. Now he'll only be in range to attack Asajj, unless he force jumps to try and push one of the Mandalorians back. I'm not sure. I think the one is close enough to be in contesting range. But again, I think they're forgetting about Fifth Brother's Inquisitorial mandate. Technically, he is still contesting that objective, even though he's not counting for control. So if they're tied at 1, he should be flipping that point, because him being contesting, even though he's not counted, does allow him to use Inquisitorial Mandate. Oh, he might be using Your Fear Betrays You to add 2 dice. I think Asajj had a condition. Was it? Yeah, I think he put an expose on her. Either expose or strain, or both. But he's taking 1 off to get 2 extra dice.
Did you roll any misses?
No.
Oh, you're lucky.
And so expertise is giving him crit hit, and that'll be a damage. Must have gotten 3 there. So probably the 2 getting through at least.
That'll be all 7.
So right now you've got 2 successes.
So that'll be all 7. I'm going to push 3 times.
So that's not going to be anything, right?
Not sure if you got a full 3 on there or not.
No, you still get.
Okay, he's getting 2 pushes, 3 pushes. Really throwing Asajj out of there. And we'll see if he gets a jump. Yeah, that Mandalorian is out of range, it seems, so he's doing that to get control of the objective. I think he said getting 7 damage through, so 1 from the expertise, 6 from the tree, so must have got 4 successes through on that. So that will get him 2 points.
The wounded unit was a force user. I get to refresh 2 force.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll go with Obi-Wan.
That's pretty awesome.
I'm just gonna run up here and I'm gonna hunt for
And a momentum, we're not crossing 0. He is refreshing 2 force because an Inquisitor,
Coming into force users a lesson.
They're as scary as they look.
an Inquisitorious character wounded an enemy that was a force user. So gets recovered 2, probably take, excuse me, or 1 allied Inquisitorious. So either, well, I think third sister would take maybe condition 2 off of their fifth brother there, because he's the only one that's damaged in range of of anyone that could use that ability. Maybe he did get the full tree there. So I think the jump is pushing him back. He's just gonna kite on the edge of that objective. make it a little harder, I guess, for the ranged attacks to reach him. Although with the amount of movement that Bo-Katan has, that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, no, that looks like I've hurt you enough.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Or pretty bad. Gord. Okay, what is Gord?
Oh, I see that. So Gord has picked Gar Saxon. Maul is still in reserve, I think. So he must have used the Shatterpoint on Maul. Gar Saxon can give a jump to a allied Mandalorian character. So we'll see if he uses that to help get his Kryze Mandalorians in range of that bottom objective, or starts getting Bo-Katan moved into the board, which looks like he's taking that second option. We could have Gar. I think he already has the top middle objective. So yeah, he's gonna have Gar go towards the middle objective, and that will, if he can get up on that gantry, then that will allow him to get that center point, but also allow him to ignore some of the terrain. I'm not sure if he has a line of sight from the ground. He could probably position himself to be on the ground and shoot at the Grand Inquisitor. But we'll see if he pops up onto that gantry to be on the same level as the objective. Gar Saxon has, I've got you in my sights, which will give him Sharpshooter 2 if he does get his focus action. Oh yeah, he must have been measuring to be within 2 of the Super Commando that is on the ground, so he should have gotten that focus action. And from that, he should actually also get a Hunker, which yes, he has marked, because even though the focus action came from a ability, the Mandalorians are stronger together, still making a focus action, so he gets that Hunker from I've got you in my sights.
I believe I can get up on that ledge if I do a jump. Use my jetpack.
Yeah, he's going to use his jetpack to get in range. Looks like he'll be staying on the ground. No. Did make it to the gantry. Just barely. So that'll help him protect that point. Oh, maybe he's gonna... Oh, he's looking at his options, so either Third Sister or Grand Inquisitor, both of them are full health. He has range to either. He's the only Mandalorian with range 5. And with Focus and Sharpshooter, he will be rolling 9 dice. And now his dice tray is completely out of sight. But that's alright.
You got actually quite a few, but you got 4, but I just needed 1.
Alright, so I think Daniel is using his deflect. But that should happen at the end, so that'll be coming from Third Sister. That should happen at the end in case she gets wounded, because that would cost a force. But with 8 health, I mean, it's possible, but we'll see here. So she only took 2 damage, so it looks like we just had 1 success get through. So 2 damage to each side there, so not a great exchange for Gord. But he's probably looking at those health pools and thinking that, well, I mean, Grand Inquisitor is only 9, health, but I think his defense, yeah, his defense is also quite a bit better. Well, the Makashi side is the same for both. The 45 Gemso is a bit better with more crit mitigation and more dice. And he could swap into that using his. The Temple records are quite complete. Oh no, that's when you're attacked by a Force user, so that wouldn't apply here. So he's getting that point. Yeah, he's finishing off the struggle. And so it looks like yeah, so we're changing over the struggle here. Alright, so they've set up for struggle 2. It looks like they've pulled we've been double crossed. And so Daniel has gone with the orientation that puts the middle point active on the right, on Gord's side, and then the two bottom ones on the middle and towards Daniel's side. He does have Reva in range of that bottom point. I think she will have control of that, which is nice for him. However, his two people that are left to go are Darth Vader and Rex, who are on the opposite side of the board. So it might have been better to pick the other orientation, even though Maul has control of that middle top point. Gord doesn't have anyone on that point, and Rex could quite easily move over to get the middle point on Daniel's side. So yeah, that might have been a slightly better option just for what he was about to pull, which he pulled Vader, of course. So is he using Vader's Fury? He moved quite a ways, so I think, yeah, he used Vader's Fury. He'll get 2 damage to the damage pool there. Is he gonna add 2 damage to get 3 more dice? I don't see damage tokens on there. We'll see how much he rolls. So he's rolling 7 dice. So just his normal rage without 3 extra dice. So not finding that worth it on that attack to take that damage. I guess it is a point that's not active, so just trying to get some damage on Maul, but not get his rage to trigger there. Although he has 8. No. Oh yeah, he already took the 2 from the Vader's Fury. So if he's doing another 6 damage, which he can do if he goes straight through the middle or on the top of his tree, top being 7 damage actually, then he would get the wound. So on Maul, looks like he's going to take the 2 shoves. He's probably following the middle path, getting the 6 damage he needs for that wound. But that will trigger Maul's revenge.
Well, I guess she's gonna heal.
Oh my god.
Right, he did. Because Vader is Inquisitorious, he will be able to recover 2 and refresh to Force from Inquisitor's ability. And but Gord should be having a chance to retaliate on this.
Well, I must have my revenge now.
But I can get that.
I must have my revenge now, so I get.
Yeah, so it's a 5 dice attack, but he is currently
I can dash.
wounded. Well, he's sitting with 11 damage on him, so that'll get him 3 extra dice for his melee attack. So this will be an 8 die.
Revenge, I must have revenge.
8 dice attack.
When you're
Maul onto Vader. So some confusion that happens around this is the fact that Maul's revenge attack is innate. Revenge, I must have revenge is an innate ability, so force cost, well, it never has a force cost. Meanwhile, Vader, his Sith Lord Strikes Back is reactive, and therefore, when he is wounded, which is what triggers it, he does have to spend the 1 force in order to use it. Now, another difference is that Vader's can happen on ranged attacks, whereas Maul's does have to be on a melee attack that wounds him. I think we're just rolling the 5, even though he should have another 3 for his damage.
Crit and 1 damage on you.
So that'll be a miss.
So we got an expertise there to get him a crit and a damage.
So I'm gonna block 3 hits. So it's only the crit going through.
The crit and the damage. 1 success and 1 damage.
So the crit and the damage will get him 3 damage total. If he's still on his Dark Rage side, if he's on Sinister Cunning, add a shove to that.
He's a bully.
But no, I can see his stance, so yeah, he's still at Dark Rage. So Daniel gets the 1 point that Third Sister's on. So Gord has Maul in reserve and Bo-Katan left to go, and 2 force left, so that'll be good for Bo. We'll be using one of them, and then, well, Maul, now that he's wounded, won't really be able to use that one for either of his abilities because they now cost 2 and 3. On Daniel's side, I think there's still the Shatterpoint and and Rex left to go. So
Have you drawn your Shatterpoint?
okay, and then he's got 6 force, so almost full from refreshing due to his 2 wounds there. So Gord decided to go with Bo-Katan instead of using Maul from reserve, and I think I agree with that because Maul can only really, well, I mean, he can cross the board decently well, but Bo-Katan could potentially get 2 points flipped here, I think. She could move one of those Clan Kreese Mandalorians into, well, yeah, she might not be able to get 2 actually. Well, unless she could move Gar back to that one that's on his side. Yeah, that's what he's doing there, and then she could actually go and probably make it to that priority token on the back. She has a move action first, Then the jump,
Oh yeah, but he's got 6 dice.
because she'll probably from the move be engaged with those Inquisitors. And then that would give her a focus as well, being close enough to those other Mandalorians. And then she'd hope to get two successes through in order to get another jump.
So he's going to move.
I think that's what he's going for, unless he wants to attempt to shove third sister off. Because yeah, fifth brother is wounded.
2, so that she becomes focused.
Yeah, so he's gonna get his focus. We'll see if he does the jump first or second here. Might just try for the attack. And to shove sister back out of range of the point that he's currently on, and then go for that priority point. We'll see. Yeah, so he wants to be. Let's see. Does she have sharpshooter? I don't think she does. So technically more dice. Oh, yeah. He also forgot about Mandalore will survive, so he got a focus action from Mandalorians are stronger together. Doing a focus action sets off Mandalore will survive, which actually gives him a dash and 2 recovers. So that would help him get to that back point as well. But she has more dice in melee. Same expertise either way. So.
He doesn't have that thing. 4 misses. Whoa.
Ooh.
Okay. So
This is on third sister's side.
So that's going to be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a full 3. How much health does he have? 8.
Sounds like he's getting his full tree there, so he could definitely get to the back point if we wanted to.
Yeah, I can. 8 and a pin and a push.
Alright, so it looks like he's gonna stick with that point that he's currently on. Just get 1 push and do a pin. So not going for that priority objective. He gets 6, 7, 8 damage through, which might be a wound actually. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, he's gonna stay and flip the point rather than going for the priority token. So making it harder for Daniel to get answer back with points, because now he has currently 0, and his 501st are wounded on the other side of the board, while everyone else is single character units, so it'll be a little more difficult for him to get more points, more than 1 point, or more than 1 objective. He obviously can go for the priority and get 2 points. We'll see what the priority is going to be.
So it's going to be.
Okay, so it is the one that he just that word just flipped. I should mark as 2 points.
I don't know how he can do that with all that funky armor.
And
He's angry. That's his secret. He's always angry.
it looks like Daniel is going to go with the Shatterpoint on Vader. Or at least he's looking at it. Yeah, because he does have 2 advances, given his Vader's Fury. So going for maybe pushes with the Dark Rage and or Wound on Bo-Katan to get that priority objective.
What is that?
Vader's
Oh, you gotta spend
spends one force and he gets a move, not a dash.
I was thinking
Now he's probably moving out of engagement with the one wounded Super Commando there. So that would do 2 damage. They are still engaged, even though he doesn't slow down the advance into a dash. They are still engaged when they're wounded, so Vader would be suffering 2 damage there from no mercy.
And then, just to make it even worse for you, you're gonna love this.
But I think instead he's suffering the 2 damage for his identity, which allows him to add 3 dice. So I'll be rolling 10 dice on this. And we'll have added 2 damage to the damage pool.
Oh my god, not a single miss. How many of these critical successes? 5. So 5 critical successes becomes
5 blocks.
becomes 2 more crits.
Too many crits. I don't like all these crits.
2 more crits.
Good expertise. He's getting a lot of crits there, even though Bo-Katan has rolled 5 blocks, which will deal with all the hits. So I'm seeing 4 successes.
Anything else?
He's gonna push you twice.
So he's taking the middle track, getting 2 pushes. It sounds like there was 7 damage there.
Yeah, I do have 10 back.
So it's only gonna push you once.
Not sure if that's including the 2 from Vader's Fury. So Bo-Katan does have protection and steadfast. So he will have ignored 1 shove and 1 damage, but I think he would have been getting 9 damage there anyway, and wounding. Because I flipped the point with just Vader being the only not wounded character. So that will get him 2 points. But only the 1 objective. So all will be activating for Gord, and knowing that Maul was in reserve, might have been better to leave him on just a couple health points left, especially when he wasn't going to be flipping an objective, an active objective, because then if Maul tries to take damage for his force abilities, then he could wound himself, which would end his activation. So you would force him to use the force, even though he does have 2 available. That would limit his options a little bit on this turn.
Yes.
See where this point is going to be.
It's gonna stay there.
Alright, so the priority objective is staying the same. Luckily, though, I think Vader pushed Maul into the board a bit. We'll have to see when he goes to move him. But he also is able to do 2 advances, so he should be able to get there. Whether he ends up doing an attack on the way,
Cost 2 damage.
then we'll see, because part of Maul's kit here is that Sinister Cunning, which has a reposition on
So
2 successes.
damage equal to the
So that's pretty reliable to get him extra movement on his activation.
You can't split it up. You gotta do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right? You can't do one first, one down.
And that, because that's not underneath that will cost.
So yes, they're acknowledging that he can't split the force cost between damage and force. So he either uses the 2 force or takes 2 damage for force speed. And so he'll use the 2 force on this, allowing him to use the take 3 damage on There's No Place to Run. Not that he couldn't, but 5 damage instead of 3 will not help him when it comes to his attack roll or anything like that anyway. So what he could be doing here is, well, yeah, he could still do it. So what he will likely do is There's No Place to Run. He is close enough to do that. Pull Vader to Ward, but to the side a little bit, so that he can pull him clear off of that objective, so that he would no longer be contesting, and then hopefully he flips into his Sinister Cunning side to get that reposition and go take the point. So yeah, he's going to do No Place to Run. Also expose, which is going to be helpful for this attack. If he stays on Dark Rage, the shoves might be enough if he does a follow-up just to get in range. But the reposition would be more guaranteed, and the shove is on 1 success instead of 3 successes on the Sinister Cunning side. Looks like he's staying on Dark Rage. 7 dice plus 3 for the injured token, and for the 3 damage. So that'll be 11 dice. Alright, looks like... Oh, there was 1 expertise that he got rid of with that expose. 3 blocks.
A hit and 1 damage.
So he must have had 3 expertise there to get a crit, a hit, and a damage.
Looks like just that one crit and that one hit.
2 successes and 1 damage.
Yep. Damage on.
So that's gonna be 4 damage on the tree.
Okay, so just getting the 2 successes, it sounds like. So you get the 4 damage.
No, 4 plus 1.
And plus 1 from the expertise.
You got 8 now?
I'm at 8.
Getting there.
So again, not getting the movement that he needed in order to flip that point.
You're outside.
Outside, and this guy's wounded, that guy's wounded, so
So
it's
it just
just
stays where it is.
So yeah, all the people that are contesting it are wounded, so that means the point will not be flipped. And so instead of getting 3 that round, Gord just gets the 1 point, which will give them both a moment.
Why don't you take a move?
He is going to
Choose one ally Galactic Republic. Well, oddly enough, Vader's Galactic Republic. Oh, let's see what
And yes, so now Rex gets to go, and he will
here now.
be giving Vader a dash and a hunker from his tactical ability.
He'll score that one for us.
So yeah, that helps him out a lot. Now he's guaranteeing himself 3 points because he's going to get the priority and the objective that he already is in control of. I'm not sure that Rex can get to that back point. He does have lots of shoves, which would be good for getting Gar off that point, but yeah, the reposition's at the end, so he'd be fishing for that a little bit, and it would come after the shoves.
So he's gonna shoot.
Okay.
Fire just done a move, and he's gonna shoot Maul.
Who's attacking Maul?
See what he can get with the attack there, I guess. Maul already isn't on the point. There's a building behind him, so can't really get much shoves, so maybe going for the damage and expose. Maul has 5 damage on him, so we need 6, which is possible, but on Dark Rage, yeah, there's only 5 dice.
I want to put my card over too after my turn.
Not a problem. You let me do it, you can go ahead and do it.
I forget.
Right, so
I know, I keep
kind of retroactively flipping to his more defensive side, the Sinister Cunning. So he'll be getting 6 damage, 6 dice, and better expertise when it comes to blocks. Although to fish for that jump on the Dark Rage expertise could also help him out, because that could lead to a flip on that center, that bottom middle point.
So 7. Critical success.
3 blocks.
This becomes 2 more hits.
So 4 blocks.
Okay, so those all go away, so just the crit gets through.
Right, so 1 success on this attack, and that'll,
We'll give him 2 more.
yeah, that'll only
No pushes.
get through 2 damage on that. So yeah, Daniel getting his 3 points there. He, with the Force about to refresh, he could be using a defensive maneuver on Rex to move him into the action a little more, and gain him a hunker. But it looks like he's just going to refresh on that, getting his 3 points. So that really, that's a big swing for him, to, especially with the momentum that he's been gaining from wounds. So it'll be a little difficult for Gord to pull this struggle back. Sounds like he's pulled Bo-Katan, who was wounded, and so that will allow him to flip that point, because now she's the only one who's not wounded on there. However, he's got the back point with Gar. He could move one of those Clan Kryze Mandalorians, who I believe are not wounded, onto that priority point, which would flip it, and then have Bo-Katan go for the back one. He'd be looking for, try and get shoves on Vader to get him out of range, which would be 3 successes to get there, but doable. Yep, so he's going to jump one of the Clan Kryze Mandalorians up to flip that point. To set off the dash from Mandalore will survive, he would need to do a focus action, whether that comes from Mandalorians or Stronger Together, but that would limit his movement if he, because he'd have to be within 2 of another Mandalorian. and he can't get it from the jump, only from the move action.
Move to there.
So looks like he's just gonna move to solidify that point and just take a shot at Vader.
And then she'll become focused.
Which, keeping her close to the other Mandalorians will be good, because then it'll give herself and the other Mandalorians protection and steadfast when they're defending. Oh yeah, so the other thing about Mandalorians are stronger together, I'm not sure he got the focus action if he did that, because, excuse me, now that she's wounded, it will cost a force, because it is a reactive ability. So that might have been why also he tried to just do the move action and stay close to them to get his focus. Getting his 3 points there.
Oh, didn't you have control of that?
Hit 0. Give them both a momentum.
Goes back to Vader.
So if Daniel can get some sort of 4-point swing here, whether that's through getting a momentum and 3 points, or getting 4 points, though that's not going to be happening with Third Sister. You can give an Inquisitor an Inquisitorial support. So Fifth Brother is the only one, and he is wounded. Yeah, supporting character. Let's call the hunt. So we could try to. Sounds like he's going to be going after Maul, which won't help him flip any points. Now, without Inquisitorial Mandate, she also won't be able to flip the points because she can only attack slash move one of Gord's units on that point, and she doesn't really have enough mobility to get over to that back or the right middle point. Yeah, so she's just gonna move in, go for Maul. I guess try to get the wound on Maul, since he is 4 away. So that is doable. Get him a refresh and some recovers. Now, if he was able to move, which she does have a shove on 1, but Bo-Katan has protection of steadfast. But if she could get a shove through, so get a little further down her tree, might be a reason to use Vader's identity to get some extra dice. But then if she could shove Bo-Katan back, then technically Fifth Brother's Inquisitorial Mandate would break that tie and flip that point for him. But without that, yeah. No, there's no other option, actually. So yeah, and that is the other thing. If he wounds Maul, then Maul will get his revenge attack as well. So I'm seeing a lot of hits there, no crits, and expertise, which will add a damage. So he's marked the damage from the expertise. Looks like he's getting 3 successes through, which would, well, this is on Maul, I think. Yeah, he marked it on Maul. So he's going to be getting 2 shoves. See if he goes... Well, technically he only needs 3 more damage now. So he'll probably toss an expose on him as well.
Who's that? Third sister that did that?
See if the dash back can actually get him in range for an attack on Third Sister. He, well, he's wounded with 11 damage on him, so that should be adding 6 dice to the attack, the 5 dice attack. So he should be rolling 11.
See, because the only thing is I can't, when I follow up, it has to be in the same direction. I would rather go the other way.
Yeah.
And with Third Sister only having 8 health,
Okay.
definitely dangerous for him to be potentially wounded, although he is on Sinister Cunning. So you could have 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you need 5 successes to get 7 on the tree, and then probably 1 the expertise. With 11 dice, that's doable, but I'm not sure if he's going to be rolling 5 again.
Says he's got 11 damage and a wound. And an injury. Crazy. Look at all those failures. Wow, there's a lot of failures. Failure.
Okay, I think he did count his extra dice on this one.
No crits.
Just let you know I get 4 defense.
4 defense. 2 blocks.
I'm just gonna block 2.
So for my 4 plus, I get 2 damage and 2 crits.
Oh, so you got 4 expertise on there, so 2 damage, 2 crits.
So I get rid of that. So that's 5 successes.
So yeah, he is getting 6 damage through there from the tree. So that will wound her. And be getting a reposition and a jump. And he could heal his expose off. Not that really matter at this point. But as Daniel has pointed out, it does mean that Maul's next activation would be, or will be, his last. So Gord will have to make sure that he is saved till he can really swing things for him and have a big activation, because he will be removed from the board after.
Reposition is this one?
No, it's the dash.
The dash?
Here we go to choose which one of those you want.
Okay, so I'm gonna do.
Did a 12 dice attack.
Hey.
Well,
Did
he dashed the one that I didn't target?
So I'm gonna jump to there.
I think so.
So she's gonna die.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna reposition to there.
Okay, so
And then I'm gonna push.
technically the reposition,
Right?
yeah, we're doing
And then I'm gonna push you.
you're supposed to apply things in order, and it sounds like he was going backwards there, because he called it the jump first, then the reposition, and now the shove. Technically, since the shove is first on the tree, that should happen first, then the reposition, then the jump.
So. Oh, I already have that one. Right?
Yep.
So it doesn't.
Maul can't do anything about it anyways.
Yeah, he's
So it's not going to matter because seems like he's not worrying about the shove since he's already wounded Reva. Yeah. Picked Maul.
That is correct, right,
No,
Morgan?
I didn't mark the 2
So Maul
points there.
activates, he dies.
No, he gets a carry at his activation.
Oh, then he dies. Okay.
Yeah, you get one last.
So
One last hurrah.
definitely,
Turned your wound
definitely
to come off.
tempting to put him in reserve, but I mean he could do a swing where
He's also gonna do so much damage to
where he gets 4 points here,
Oh, he does lose all those wounds. He's
because
still
Maul
got,
could move Vader off that back point
Injured, you get 3
and go grab it before he's removed.
Only 6 extra. Okay, this goes to.
And that would be
Where it's already sitting. Vader's.
Oh, that one.
fairly difficult to recover from on Daniel's side.
Okay, so yeah, I'll go with Paul. So he's gonna lose all this. Loses this.
Looks like because the priority token is probably staying where it is, that he is actually going to go for that and try to get that big swing and be back into this in claw back from the struggle. But technically these will both cost 2 more force, so if he uses both of his abilities he'll be taking 7 damage from just his abilities. So if he
You don't have to spend the force to do it. Just take the
yeah, so
come in and bully Vader.
he's taking 3 for force speed. The more guaranteed route here would be to use that no place to run to pull Vader off of the point and give him the expose, because if he attacks then I mean technically he can stop on the tree before wounding, but if he doesn't, then he risks being wounded in that Sith Lord Strikes Back ability, which he just did to Third Sister. So also the pull, you actually kind of drag the model along that path, and if it hits anything then it stops. So you shouldn't be pulling Vader through Maul. Either way he's gonna have to shove him off that point now. He could have maybe put him sideways more, but that might have run him into the scatter terrain that's nearby. So he has 2 injured tokens and 7 damage, so that'll be 8 extra dice on. And he's gone back to Dark Rage, so 7, so 15 dice. So he's having to borrow some from Daniel here. Gordon and I actually split a dice pack, so he's got 12, but that's enough for most situations, but not for Maul when he's about to be removed from the board.
I take 3 wounds. Sorry, 2 wounds. 2 wounds. 2 more.
Take 3.
Kill 3 times before I even do anything.
He should
That
take
was a pretty bad.
2, I think, from Vader's riposte there.
Blocks you got. I got no crits.
However,
5.
again, they should be waiting to see if he gets wounded before doing that.
So 4 down the tree.
2 damage. 2 crits. How many blocks?
4.
4. So 4 down the tree.
So 4 down the tree, and can
So
you
we got 4 down the tree.
And did you do the 2 extra damage?
So that will get him his shove. That'll be doing, but to get to the shove, you're doing 5 damage. So that will wound Vader and make things risky for Maul being wounded before he gets counted for control here.
Okay, so
He pushes.
I mean, well,
Do you have any conditions?
yes, because Vader being wounded, I guess, is necessary without the shove
Let's do 7 wounds,
to
woundy or strained.
to
Okay, sure, yep.
flip that point, but
I'll put the strained on.
Awesome. All right. So
I'll put the strained on.
Jump. So I'm gonna jump here. I'll push you 1 over
shoot that one.
there.
Okay.
all right, now it's happening.
Bye bye. You're dead.
Okay. And then I get to dash.
So I injured you, right?
Yep.
So I get a Q.
Well, now
And I get to dash.
You got more Q.
Oh,
so he removed him a little early there
You get the dash for your.
because Vader dashes in the direction.
because he should count for the control there, and then be able to retaliate to see if Maul gets wounded before
Way of thing.
being counted for control.
I get 2. And then we each get a black. I think you're getting this one.
I think that gets rid of my this thing as well, because I'll take an extra wound, because that's what that is.
So
I think that gets rid of that as well.
I guess we're basically saying that he
Rid of that as well.
didn't flip that point.
All right.
He just got Vader off of it. Then it sounds like they're both gaining a momentum. We're hitting 0 on that.
That one way back there.
So,
That's,
not quite how that activation should have gone, but that's alright. We're rolling with it. So the 5 first got picked, and they are actually Daniel's best chance at getting that point from Gar, because they basically just need to roll up and say hi. But he's going to reserve them. The defensive maneuver would cost him 2 to get the movement that he probably needs in order to get there, but just getting the 2 bodies there would be the guaranteed flip on that priority token. 5th brother is instead being activated. They're tied 2 and 2. Again, 5th brother should be breaking that tie. And again, if he was to move over to that that objective, she doesn't have any repositions, but if he could get there somehow, he would also be able to flip that point. His attack has a shove on 1 success, which could get Gar off, but that Inquisitorial mandate should win him that point as well. He's going to use his Force Repulse, which is going to cost him 3 now. Although he should maybe move first. Yep, there we go. And that'll push both Bo-Katan and the Clan Kryze, Mandalorian, 2 away from him, and therefore out of contention for that point. Oh yeah, 3rd sister is wounded, so they wouldn't be tied if he just moved up there. Yeah, he needed to push them off in order to flip that point on his own. So he'll be flipping that point, gaining the 2 that he needs in order to claim that struggle.
I wanted to attack her first. So it'll be 7 days, and then we'll do the push.
Now, he's still
protection, does
I
that give you
mean,
one more?
No, protection means you take
the fact that he is within 2 of the Mandalorian there means that he should have pushed them.
2 block.
Um,
Can you roll a defense side?
so, which would mean that he would no longer be in range for the attack here, but do that.
Block that.
So you're gonna get
an exposed and a strain and 2 more wounds.
yeah. So
And then we push everybody over.
Then we push everybody.
it is
And then I claim that one.
Maybe he's,
And now
I guess maybe
I'm
he's
not
doing,
protecting anymore, so I don't have my
considering it the attack first
Because he's got the Mandalorian
before he did the push.
when determining control.
and
So,
If there is a tie,
who has the
I win.
image on your
So that gets me 2. 1, 2, win this one.
so yeah.
Okay.
So getting some damage and conditions on the, where's that on Bo-Katan?
You, which one do you want?
Finishes off the struggle.
Straight up and down.
So Gord will get to choose whether it is down the middle from our perspective, which is what he's going with, or if it was down the center line from their perspective going the other way. So what would I do? Grand Inquisitor is still sitting back, so he would be ready to take that back point. Daniel has now claimed the bottom middle point. That one's not great, although he does have 3, 4. Yeah, he's got a whole squad worth of not wounded units that could go back in on that point.
They were like the first guys to go, remember?
Gar or the Super Commandos
And actually I've got them in reserve, so...
are able, would be able to get to the top point.
at the start of activation, choose another Mandalorian character. That character.
But he's lost Maul for that. The 501st are still over there, ready to become unwounded. So they're ready to flip a point just with bodies. Looks like he's lining up shots with Gar there. So that must be who he pulled. So he's moving more people towards that top objective, the priority objective. Make sure he gets the 2 points on this activation. So he used Pride of Mandalore. I think, to move that Super Commando towards that. Trying to figure out how he does his move to get the focus action while also having line of sight to either Rex or the Grand Inquisitor. So Grand Inquisitor is down below. He's going to take a shot at him, even though, well, Rex and the Grand Inquisitor are both have no damage on them. Though they also both have 9 health, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Okay.
Not sure if Rex has any hunkers on him. No, he doesn't. So he doesn't have any extra cover dice. Although Gar would also be ignoring over there.
Okay, so 4 successes and
I was just like, what the hell?
I
You're
get
already gonna win it. I'm like, wait a minute.
So getting
Don't worry. You needed
4
to
successes
know
through,
that.
so I'll be getting
how much health you got?
6 damage
You got it.
Okay.
jump, which is nice for him, and he can do shove and pin, or do the string.
How much damage?
5 and a push. So you're going to push him back one,
Straight back.
straight back.
I don't think I could have done
I'm
anything
gonna
with
do
the arc, but I was thinking if I could have shot 212
jump
and
over
Rex.
here.
That was happening last game too. Too many people left.
I was hoping I would get that jump on my attack.
Like called Maul. I maybe should have went and put my. I was hoping that this would be one of the points that I had this
What
locked
happened
in
there?
on, eh?
Yeah. You will claim 2.
My archer was didn't do much all game. He did.
I don't think Gar is wounded.
Still gonna be that one.
He got a hunker. He might not have removed his hunker at the start of the activation there. He got a hunker for because he gets that when he makes the focus action.
Where, you know, you just
Alright, so Daniel has picked Vader. He was fairly out of position. Oh,
more force.
Gord got 2 points there.
Still hasn't gone. So no force users to bully to refresh force point.
We'll see where the priority goes. He could definitely, I mean, fifth, yeah, fifth brother, already has that bottom point. He should already have control there. But, so Vader could be going for that center objective to make sure he gets 2 objectives. But we should see where the priority token goes too. He's probably eyeing up somebody to wound though. Not sure if they rolled for priority or if it's staying where it is.
Yeah, I think with Rex there too, I should have jumped around the other way.
So we'll run Vader up there. And I will
So he's gonna do a lightsaber throw.
into Bo-Katan for
So I'll have to swap into Jim So if he isn't already.
Yep.
2 successes?
2 successes.
Well,
Comes 4
2 successes getting through there. So he'll be doing 4 damage and a push on that. Which I don't think will get him the wound that he was hoping for on Bo-Katan there. Because it sounded like she had 6 health left, so she's taken 2 damage at some point. That was from, must have been from the fifth brother attack there earlier. So even though she was exposed, still only getting those 2 successes through. So that would have gotten him 1 point and a momentum for not crossing 0. And again, I'm not sure if the priority token is just staying where it is, or if they did roll for that. So it looks like the Clan Kree's Mandalorians are going. And with 2 of them, they will need to shove someone in order to get that point. Ah, there's the priority token roll. So they've both done a move. Or no.
You're in melee with Vader.
Oh, melee with Vader.
Yes.
Maybe let's move them over here. And this one is wounded. She's wounded though, right?
He's moving them
Doesn't count?
so that they're not engaged with Vader, because they have sharpshooter. They want to be doing ranged attacks, not
He's also got protection and steadfast.
melee attacks.
Protection and
So
steadfast.
first pushes will be ineffective.
Okay. Hopefully I get
So, well, Fifth Brother has protection and steadfast,
they do have a lot of
but
push ability, so.
not
Okay.
as strong
Let's go with
defense. Otherwise, I would say,
this one here.
because if Vader's still in gem, so he's rolling 6 dice
So ranged
either way, and the better expertise on that.
and focus
Uh,
and sharpshooter.
yeah. Yeah, Fifth Brother would be the better target there if he is trying to flip that bottom point.
So I will block 3 of them.
You block 3, so that's 3 successes. So
3 successes getting through. And Kreese does have the
2
nice
damage,
double push or push pin
2 pushes,
options on those first few steps, even though they'll only be getting 3 damage through. So yeah, he did shoot at Fifth Brother. So probably going. Oh yeah, that's the follow-up. Yeah.
that's okay. So I don't get my
I didn't hear if he did the expose or disarm. I would assume expose though.
Yes, you are. So I control 2, you 1. So I win the struggle. Morgan, where's that the way it works?
Oh, so it sounds like that was
Morgan?
time. So anyway, it looks like the resolution there was that it went to time, and they counted Gord as having 2 objectives to Daniel's 1, and so that would be the tiebreaker for that struggle, and give Gord 2 struggles to Daniel's 1, and therefore Gord won that game. Now, obviously, there were a few things that didn't quite go right there, but I think it's important to note that our local scene has consistent monthly tournaments, but I don't think not everyone here, and it's a 14-person tournament. Not everyone is getting consistent games in, so we're still all kind of learning together there. Personally, I basically am studying Shatterpoint. Since any little tidbits of information that get released, I'm looking into, and I'm keeping an eye on the forums for kind of weird interactions of different characters and things. So stuff like Maul's 5 dice attack. Yes, you add the extra dice to that melee attack. Different interactions like that might not be obvious when you first pick up the cards and read through them. I've been able to keep more of an eye on and keep up with. And especially that inquisitorial mandate, the way that it breaks ties, for one thing, even when he's wounded. So, but also, if he's not at the elevation of the objective, he also, because he is technically contesting, just not counting for control, still breaks that tie. So there's different things like that as a community we're still kind of learning and figuring out those interactions. and luckily our tournament organizers in the area are very willing to look at those forums for definitive answers on those interactions. But yeah, we still have some players that that have put together teams that look interesting, and they're learning as they play. So um, don't don't expect, I guess, for all of the videos to be like, say, ones from the other bigger leagues, or people playing online pretty consistently, because yeah, the people playing here have not gotten as many games in. However, next game will be one of the head table games. We only had 3 rounds, even though there were 14 people. So 2 people went undefeated in the end. So we kind of have 2 top tables, and one of them will be the next video that I do commentary on. So look out for that. I'll hopefully get that out soon after this one, and I'll see you then.